When I tell people that I am a professional astrologer, they ask me, hey wait, what does an astrologer actually do? Do you go out at night and look at stars? So here's the difference between an astronomer and an astrologer. So astronomy involves something a little bit more technical, a bit more scientific. You're looking at literally observing planets, stars. So that's the one that they do with the telescope. Now astrologers do something totally different. We still observe the movement of planets, but there's an additional component where we interpret the meanings of when a planet is in this position, what does it mean? So generally speaking, astrologers like myself, if we are practicing professionally or we've gotten a structured education, learning astronomy is part of our training and education, simply because a good astrologer needs to be very familiar with planets, such as their orbital movement, the physical conditions of planets, how long something takes to move from one section to another. These are some of the basic mathematical and scientific information that we do need to have. The astronomers, on the other hand, tend to, well, they're studying the astronomy. It is not, typically speaking, a requirement for an astronomer to know astrology. So that's pretty much my technical answer. But you see, on an interesting level, I recall that when I was studying, I was doing my college diploma at the International Academy of Astrology, I actually had a couple instructors who, with regard to this topic, was very interesting. My very first class was with an instructor called Marcia Fox, and she is a NASA scientist. So in her own words, we've asked her, what do you actually do at NASA? And she said, well, I'm a rocket scientist, literally. And so she's one of those examples where she is both an astronomer, well, I mean, she could be an engineer, I have to check with her, and as well as an astrologer. And later on in my studies, one of my instructors is Gary Caton, and he is a full-time astrologer-astronomer. So clearly he practices as an astrologer, both for consultations as well as for research. And he also is a very qualified astronomer. In fact, he has full astronomy observation equipment in his house. It's on his rooftop, it's around his house, and he organizes astronomy parties. So if he notices that there's going to be something interesting to look at in the skies, he announces it. And any astrologers or astronomers who are interested join him for parties at his house. Everybody looks through telescopes, and you can imagine it's quite a fun experience. So and interestingly, in the past, so we've also had some famous people. Johannes Kepler, a German astronomer, mathematician, physicist, astrologer. So this is somebody who studied astronomy. Well, I mean, who knows? He might have studied astronomy so that he could understand astrology, or it could be that after studying astronomy, he wanted to know what it all meant, right? So it's hard to say which one came first, but there have been quite a legacy of people who were both astronomers as well as astrologers. Some people think that Galileo, the great Galileo who invented the telescope, was probably an astrologer as well. This needs to be verified, of course. Right? And so for those of you who are interested in astrology, you probably want to check out our free chart generator. It doesn't give you the full astronomical information, but you can see the positioning of all the planets in your chart. So if you go to the link at the bottom of this video, you can access our free chart generator. You will need an accurate birth time. So what you do is you key in your birth information, it generates a chart, and yeah, you can visually see where everything is in your birth chart. Okay, so leave your comments. It's like, what else have you noticed between science and astrology, right? And if you have some interesting information, please share it below this video. And for more of such content, please like, subscribe, and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And until the next video, cheers! There is one very big problem with daily horoscopes, okay?